Committee.
They put their heads together and they start their own thing.
Hey y'all, it's Izzy Harrison and you're tapping in with the committee.
What's up guys, this is Azrae Stevens and you're tapping in with the committee.
Big shout out to the committee. Y'all hold it down for us.
Shout out to the committee. Come on, rocking with the committee. The committee. We committee.
Some people ain't gonna like it, and some people will.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Committee Post Game Show. I'm Tyler DeLuca, joined by Greer and Shawnee. Guys, we got a big show today. We got some big time games, but we got a big time guest. All right, we ain't coming with any little dogs. We only got big dogs. I'm talking the reigning, defending Pac-12 Player of the Year. One of the best players in the nation. Star player for Utah, Alissa Pili. Alissa, thank you so much for joining us today on the Committee Post Game Show. I mean, first off, let's just get into how this season has started for you guys. Just in general, 6-1. What have you kind of learned about this team so far in this season?
I've learned a lot. I think we've gotten a lot of new pieces to our squad. We got our returning players. That's our main core. But adding those new players, it was definitely it definitely took some time for us to get used to each other and build that chemistry. But I feel like where we're at right now, we're still learning, we're still improving, and so I think everybody's still just hungry to get better and continue to do well.
So we just saw you go to Alaska, which is where you're from. Obviously a huge homecoming game for you. Just in general, how was that experience, being able to have everyone there in the crowd for you, being able to go back home and play a game for Utah? Kind of just in general, how was that experience for you?
Man, I keep telling people this, but it was like a full circle moment for me. Just going on the court, playing on the court in college, my senior year, where I won state championships and where I played in front of my family and all my friends. And so just going back, just seeing the support that everybody had for me, all my family was there. They took up like half the stadium, but just seeing that support that just my family and the whole state of Alaska has, I think it was just an eye opener for me, and it kind of made me realize like the position I'm in and the impact I have. And so I think, just overall the trip was great. I love seeing everybody, and it was a lot of fun.
So
I like how you flex them state championships.
Oh yeah, some slight. There's a couple rings on them fingers. Hold on.
I played a bunch of different sports. I played obviously basketball, then I played volleyball, did track and field, and then I wrestled for a year. And I got a total of 13 state championships.
Run it up.
We were gonna ask. We were gonna ask about those other sports later. But since you mentioned it, how you wrestled all these different sports? How has this all kind of come together to make you the basketball player that you are today?
It's helped me a lot just being a multi-sport athlete. And my dad, he was the one who put us in a bunch of different sports, me and my siblings. And so his kind of strategy behind that was okay, find what you're good at, find what you love to do. And then you're still in high school and you're still young, so have fun with these other sports. Might as well do that. And doing those other sports also helped me with some just skills, I guess, that come into basketball. I also played football too with my.
You collected the Infinity Stones.
I heard you were that girl at football.
What position did you play in football?
I was D-line and O-line.
In the trenches.
Yeah. So my dad was my coach. That was the first sport I played, was football. And it was honestly the first sport I loved. I loved it before basketball. But I think just being in football helped me definitely with my strength and footwork. And then volleyball helped me with my reaction, my jumping, timing. And then wrestling was also just, I hated wrestling, man.
What made you hate wrestling? What?
It's just such a hard sport, man. Like you're literally like just tossing around your own weight. I know it seems like a small amount of time, but let me tell you, that is the hardest 3 minutes of your life, I swear.
I believe it.
So, like, how did you come across, like, how did you decide upon basketball? Because, like, you know, you just said your dad said, find what you're good at, but, like, 13 state titles.
Sounds like you're kind of good at everything.
Yeah, like, how do you decide now?
Well, I started to take basketball more seriously when I got into middle school. And then I started, like, doing travel teams, AAU and all that. And, you know, I had a lot of fun with that. And once I started to see that, you know, I could play at the collegiate level for basketball and, you know, get my school paid for it and not let my parents worry about all that. I think it was something that I really like dedicated my time to. And, you know, I just did the other ones for fun.
Was there kind of a moment when you realized like, oh damn, basketball's the one? Where you realized you were kind of a step above everybody else and being able to go and pay for your college through this sport?
Yeah, I think once I got into high school, and, you know, the program I went into was normally a good program. So, you know, it was hard to get on varsity as a freshman. But, you know, I made varsity and then like I started, I think my freshman year is kind of when I started to take off. And, I don't know. I mean, Alaska it's the competition my years in high school were pretty good, but like, you know, a lot of people say it's not much competition up there. So, I mean, like, just in the tournaments we would go and travel when I would play, like, other teams from other states, like, I think that's when I kind of noticed, like, I was pretty good at basketball.
We want you to put on for Alaska real quick because, like, who influenced you, like, growing up as a young girl hooping in Alaska? And yeah, like who were your influences?
All I know is Carlos Boozer. So
wait, Jessica Moore, don't do it.
Oh yeah, and Trajan Langdon. So like,
and Mario Chalmers too.
See, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
I didn't really growing up. Me and my siblings, like my whole family, we didn't really watch like pro sports like that. So I never really had like that role model to mold my game after or to, you know, follow in their footsteps. I kind of just like took it upon myself and like grew the love for the game like by myself, I guess. Like we would be, honestly, if I had to choose a person that was my impact would be my dad. He used to whoop us. He used to whoop us. And this man is a 5'7". He's 5'7", man. Like that guy's short, but he used to whoop me and my brother. My brother's 6'4", all the time. And so like just playing around with him, and then we would go to the gyms late night and just, you know, even when I was young, like in middle school, maybe I was over there playing with the grown men and my cousins, my brother and all them. So I think that was kind of like my little push or like my impact towards, you know, trying to continue my career in basketball.
What's Pop's go-to move?
He dream shaking?
He got a mean hook shot.
Hey, a hook shot at like 5'7" is crazy.
That piss me off.
I'm telling you, that's the only thing he could do because he knows we're taller. So he just up there.
Oh my God.
He got it down, dude.
So, like, going back to Alaska, what is the culture kind of like now? Have you seen a difference?
I would say it's a lot more. I think it's a lot more like involvement and like people trying to get exposure now, like mostly through media, I would say, because social media is a huge thing now. And, you know, growing up, like exposure there was bad. Like, you know, no coaches wanted to come fly up all the way to Alaska. And, you know, they're just, I don't know. It's like, I felt like we were so isolated from the rest of the United States, and that exposure part was hard. But I mean, the culture there, honestly, it's like that will always be home. And like the culture is always going to be the same. I think just how close knit of a community it is. You know, like you go to the grocery store, you see like two people, you know, like it's all very close and like, you know, everybody. And so that's what makes it cool though, because like I grew up in a big family and a bunch of my family's back home. But I think just having that like everybody knows everybody type community. It was fun to grow up in.
So speaking of kind of like the family aspect and the culture, I have a clip to play real quick, and then we'll ask you about it earlier. But this was before one of your games in Alaska in the starting lineup announcements. Okay, so I want to dive into this because I thought that was so cool. I did my research. I apologize in advance if I mispronounce it. But that is an Atikluk?
Yeah, I can't even pronounce it either.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I was really doing my research. I wanted to get it right so bad. But can you that was made by your grandmother, handmade. Can you kind of dive into what that significance was, having that moment there, and the significance of that piece of clothing just in general for the culture?
Yeah, I mean, I like my cultural roots they go deep, and it's something like I take pride in just because it's so different from a lot of people that I meet, and a lot of people that I know. So, I mean, yeah, that's just a traditional jacket that, so I'm a Nupiat. It's a kind of Alaska native. And, that's just one of the traditional jackets that, are made in the culture. And, it was actually my dad's idea. My grandma, I call her my Aka. That's how you say it in the Inupiat language. But so she had made a jacket for like all my coaches, and I had told my mom, I'm like, Mom, tell Aka to make me one too. Like,
what's she holding out for? What's she holding out? She was getting busy for everybody else.
Right. And then like we showed up to our team lunch, and like she handed them out, and I said, Aka, where's my jacket at? And she was like, I didn't have time. I'm sorry. She's like, I'll start it tonight. She literally did that in one day. Like when I asked her.
Wow.
The next day.
She got busy. She got busy.
No, but it was my dad's idea. He was telling me like, you should really like recognize your native side. Like the whole state of Alaska is here for you. There's a bunch of natives that just look up to you. You have an impact on. So just to recognize your culture in your starting lineup, that would be pretty cool. And so I'm like, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So the starting lineup, I told my coach, make sure it was good with my coach, and then just handed them my jacket. Once I went up there, she just put it on me. And yeah, that was a special moment just to kind of show like that pride I have from like where I come from. And like I think it's super important not to ever forget where you come from and where your roots are. So that kind of that was important for me to do, I think, for my people back home.
That's super dope.
Okay, and then you're Polynesian as well, correct?
Yes, I'm Samoan.
Samoan, okay, excuse me. But just what's that like, being able to hold it down and in a major way, because like you said, like you're one of the top players in the nation. So like what is that like to just be able to represent?
It means a lot, and I carry it on my shoulders with pride, like I said. And I think just the Polynesian culture and even the native culture, they're very prideful people. They take pride in where they come from and like the culture. And so, like growing up, I never really saw that many Polynesians like playing basketball, like, at the highest level and things like that. So for me to be in the position to be that person for like these young Polynesian girls, the Polynesian community out here in Salt Lake is crazy. Like I didn't think it was like back home in Alaska. There's a lot of Polynesians there too. But once I got here and we kind of started doing well, getting more fans to come, I've seen a lot of Polynesians come up to me after the games, and it brings like a smile to my face every time just to see them coming out and showing support. And then, like I have little girls coming up to me just saying how much they look up to me and, asking me for advice and things like that. So, I mean, it means a lot just to represent my culture in that way and be that role model for other young Polynesian women.
You mentioned like moving to Salt Lake and experiencing the community there. You started at a different school in the Pac-12. So we wanted to know like what went into your decision to stay in that conference? Because like up until recently, that's a pretty uncommon thing for college athletes to do. I feel like they always went to like a different conference, but you're you're still going to face your old and have faced your old school. So why did you want to stay on the West Coast?
Definitely wanted to stay on the West Coast just to be close to home, but also, I think location for me wasn't a deal breaker. But I think staying in the pack was important to me too, because it's just like this conference is different in the sense that you have so many talented players and so many talented teams. You're being challenged every single night you're playing on the court. Like we don't have any off days to say like, oh, like this team's not that good. We could like kind of use this as a practice game. Like everybody's good. So I coming from SC, I didn't have the season that I wanted to have since my freshman year, and that kind of like lowered my confidence. But I think once I entered the transfer portal, I made the decision that I was going to dedicate my time to put in the work that I needed to do. I think a part of that was being in this conference, because playing against these teams, like you got to play against the best to be the best. So that's kind of how I was looking at it.
Okay. that's valid. Like, and the Pac-12 is looking like the best so far. I'll say it. I'm comfortable saying it. They looking like the best so far. It's a gauntlet.
Converted him. Oh no, he was Big 12. Look what you did.
Hey, I'm on the way out. You see something? I'm on the way out. What you mean?
So we had Jalen Sherrard on a couple weeks ago, and we like to ask this. Who is the best trash talker, one, on your team, and two, in the conference? Because we want to compare some
and
notes.
in the nation.
And in the nation. Yeah, you know what? Let's
you guys got a lot of people now.
Give us one of each.
And wait, do you talk trash? Let's start with.
Oh yeah, let's start at the beginning. Let's start the foundation.
Are you a talker on the court?
I never really talk to nobody unless they talking crazy to me. But
so you ain't starting it, but you finishing it, is what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
No, I don't start. I'm not a troublemaker, man. I just go out there and play. But like I don't really be talking, because people don't really be talking to me like that.
Yeah, I know that's right.
They better not. They know better.
Let them know.
No, but I think that goes for like my whole team. Like nobody's really out there talking trash. I think like people play us, they probably think like, damn, these girls are too nice. Like nah, but I don't know. Like I really don't know like in the conference either, because like not that I can recall like somebody talking trash. Like I don't
I wouldn't want to talk trash. Listen,
stop us. So wait a minute, because we were told some teams be talking. So you saying they zip it up when they play? When they get to you? So okay, I see.
Because we heard some names.
We got it. Okay,
we heard some names. Noted. Noted.
Okay. Okay. All right. So okay. All right. Light on the trash talk when it comes to the Utes, but who's your favorite? Like, who's your favorite team to go up against in the Pac-12, or what's an
individual matchup like that you have kind of circled on there, even if it's like not a rivalry or anything, but just like one that you enjoy going against?
Man, well, last year I was excited to play USC. Just because it would be my first time, like seeing them again, I guess. But honestly, I would say Stanford. I feel like it's always a good game with us and them, especially these last year.
Excellent.
There were some good games. Yeah, they were solid.
Yeah. So I would say Stanford. It's fun to play against them because they're a well-coached team, and they're I think they have like almost the same kind of style that we play at. And so like playing against a team like that, it's fun.
Okay, so you're Pac-12 through and through. You talked about how, it's no off nights in the conference. Aside from the Pac-12, what is the toughest conference to play against, in your opinion?
What's the I will get this wrong because I don't even be knowing other conferences like that.
You said honestly, that's an answer in its own. Like, because if it's Pac-12 or nothing. It's different on the West Coast. Is what I'm
Look,
hearing.
and I respect it.
That's what I'm hearing.
Look, everybody else
on the
is
West
after the Pac-12, then I respect it.
I would say like the team. I forget what conference it is, but with like Ole Miss, Alabama, like
SEC.
SEC.
Yeah. We played a couple of them last year, and it was a challenge for us, I think. And so those teams are good.
I feel you.
And so you kind of talked a little bit about some of the matchups last season. Obviously, you guys go on a bit of a tournament run. I just kind of want to ask, after that tournament run, and you go into this offseason, and obviously you're preparing you had a great year individually as a team. What is kind of the preparation looking like in the offseason leading into this year? You mentioned kind of having a couple different pieces, things of that nature.
Yeah, just getting like with the team in the off season. I think it was mostly just us, getting comfortable with each other, playing with each other, and just running because our offense is mostly just actions and reads. So just getting familiar with those, especially with the new people. And then I would say personally, the off season, it almost looked like it did last year. Just me getting some extra conditioning. My fitness is something I always try to improve on. And then just kind of expanding my game on the perimeter more because, from last year, a lot of teams keying me in the paint, and just working on my not even just scoring from the outside, but just reading stuff and decision making and stuff like that too.
For sure.
Okay.
What's I mean, I imagine that you're going to be a pretty high draft pick in this coming draft. What's rookies always have a time adjusting, but what do you think is ready-made about your game today that translates to the W?
I
think my strength and my footwork, I would say. I think just having good footwork has helped me just be able to score and kind of excel, especially being at the position I'm at and being 5'10".
Right. Which you're listed. I think you're listed at 6 foot, right?
I'm listed at 6'2".
That's I remember. Okay, so because last year I remember this. I remember this very vividly because I made a video talking about your case for Pac-12 Player of the Year, and I talked about it's like she's 6'2" and she's doing this, and you responded, you're like, I'm 5'10". I don't know what they talking about. so you out here.
I came here. The first thing they put 6'2" on was my commitment picture. And then everybody sending me the pictures dang, you grew 2 inches? I was like, no, I didn't tell them to do all that. I don't know where those came from. But yeah,
we fighting on that live. Let's go.
I'm a good 5'10", man.
Listen, if you want it changed, we can make it happen. We'll figure it out. If we No, that's really funny though. But all right, listen, we don't want to take up too much of your time. So just one last question here. What is the expectations this year for this Utah women's basketball team?
I think the expectation has always been just to win, to play together. And I think something that our coach talks about a lot is just to trust the process. Being this early in season, there's a lot of things in games that we're it could be discouraging sometimes because sometimes we could feel like we're not where we're supposed to be at as a team. And I think just trusting the process and taking it a game at a time to get better, because these games is how we get better. And so I think the expectation is always to win, but I think just to be the best that we could be as a team.
I have one more question. I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
What was your welcome to college moment?
That's a good one. That's a good one to end on.
Practice.
That's a good one.
Moment in the game. Was it getting lost on the way to class? What was your I'm at the next level.
So it would definitely have to be my freshman year at SC. I have 2. So first one was definitely 6 a.m. weights in the summer. Oh my gosh.
I know that had to hit the soul. Like that alarm every morning.
That alarm. Oh my gosh. That was the worst. But my freshman year also, when we started, so like we went into like pre-conference games, and it's like against teams that you're supposed to beat. And so like we're playing these teams, and then once it gets to conference, our first game is UCLA. And it's a team with like Michaela Onyenwere, like
that's a jump. That's a
yeah. They got like charisma. They got some other really good players. And so we play UCLA straight out the bat, first game of conference, and all of us freshmen. There are 7 of us in the class. All of us freshmen just kind of looking at each other like,
what are you gonna do now?
Like, this is how it is.
This wasn't like the other 4 games.
So I'm pretty sure we lost by like 20, man. Oh my gosh, that had to be one of the moments where I was like, "Damn, this is the real deal."
Yeah, that'll do it. Well, Alissa, we think that you're the real deal, and we thank you for coming through tonight. Listen, you're welcome back anytime. You're an absolute fan favorite. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight. We're gonna be keeping up with you all season, so we might tap back in with you later on in the season and
Cool.
see how it's all going, conference play and all that. But thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a good night, Alissa.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Look at that.
Hey, look, cupcakes ain't.
The image of 7 freshmen looking around at each other like, what?
Damn, correct? Damn, Michaela. Damn.
Wait, so this is how it looks. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, well, thank you again to Alissa for coming through to the show. That was a fantastic interview. She was great. Let's get into some of these games, shall we? Because we had a huge doubleheader today. Let's start off with South Carolina versus North Carolina. This game might have been a little bit tighter than some had anticipated. Just a little bit. But before we kind of dive into the game reactions, we had mess towards the beginning of this game, and let me tell you right now, there ain't nothing I love more. I felt
He's the messiest person you know. It's a man.
It's not just a man. It's Tyler DeLuca. All right. So one thing I'm gonna do is have the clip. So let's break this down. Let's break this one down here. So we got a loose ball, and Utsby pushes. Right. You see Camilla come through with the crowd. And then David Kelly comes in and kind of backs in. So,
no, I love the immediate transition from de-escalating to no, let's turn up.
Yeah, so look at Camilla. Camilla was like, "What are you doing?" Like, but
actually, no. Wait, hold.
Yeah. So let's break this down, kind of frame by frame here, because so the reaction of this play is Deja Kelly got a technical and Watkins also got a technical. Utsby did not get one, and this was reviewed. So it's kind of you hear the saying of like it's always the person who reacts that gets the technical, blah blah blah. But this was reviewed, so I don't quite understand how she didn't get a technical.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if so, they let this part go, right?
Yeah,
I'm okay with them letting this.
We can let this ride. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all right, it's getting chippy.
Loose ball. Yep.
She bumps her back. Like all right, cool.
And then they're both going. So they're both talking there. Like it's
because Utsby's looking back.
Exactly. That's how you know. So I just I'm cool.
She didn't even see Deja, right?
Yeah. So let's let it roll. So you see the talk there, and then Deja kind of bumps into her a little bit, kind of backs into her, and it kind of escalates from there. So I guess I just don't understand how Utsby doesn't get the technical there.
It shouldn't have been Ashlyn either. It should have just been Deja and Camilla.
I understand in the era of the double technical, I understand why Ashlyn got one.
I don't. She bumped into her on accident and then was like yelling at Utsby. Yeah. So it's like I'm not understanding it.
No, Ashlyn going like, girl.
No, it ain't me.
You say what you want, please. Not me. Try somebody else.
Have you lost your mind?
Oh man. Okay. Well, so that's how this game that was early on in the game, like maybe like mid first quarter, roughly. Honestly, there was some stuff going on before that too. Like there was like I want to say like a trip that I remember seeing. I think Raven got tripped or something like that. But it was like already chippy before that, and this energy kind of continued through the entirety of the game at different
You
points.
gotta also like back up and think about their history or recent history, right? This is a team that faced each other 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament, right? It was close, or maybe the closest game South Carolina had played, and
apparently they got a banner for that.
So this is I wouldn't say that this game was circled on South Carolina's calendar, but I would absolutely.
Oh, it for sure was for North Carolina though, and it should be. Like I would be more concerned if it wasn't, to be honest. Like I have no, like I absolutely think for every player, and especially Deja, who has kind of like obviously is the star, like most frontward player on this team. Like, and she came out, I think she had 20 points is what it was. Like she
played well tonight. She played well.
She did good.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. She played well. SB played well, but it just wasn't enough. And
that happens when you play the number one team in the nation. Like that. That's the type of like you can play good, and sometimes good can't be good enough. But it was good enough in the first half. So I want to start in that first half, because South Carolina just came out almost. I don't know if I would like lazy would be the word, or like it just came out.
Well, first, Joe said we're pronouncing Usby wrong. So if you could type the pronunciation, because I know I called Big Nano the wrong name all year last year. So I would like to correct that as soon as possible. But like I think first, I said this in the post game a couple of weeks ago. Like the next step for South Carolina was seeing what happens when they get hit in the mouth. And I think like this was an excellent game for them because they did get hit in the mouth. So like y'all said, UNC has this game circled. They're at home. It's sold out. They have
on national television.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they came out and punched them in the mouth. And they're young, so they were trying to Usby.
Okay. Hey, English is a weird language. Let's move on.
We were pretty close.
Yeah. So I mean, they had a point to prove. They came out, hit them in the mouth. They're young, and it looked like sometimes they were trying. Somebody had tweeted me that they're trying to hit the home run play instead of just getting a bunch of singles and piece together a little run. So like once they settled down and stopped getting out rebounded,
that was the point that was kind of like when I was saying lazy. That's where I kind of felt that came in, was at times with the rebounding. It was like the effort that I'm accustomed to seeing from a South Carolina team and crashing the boards. Like, and maybe lazy wasn't the right word for that, but that was
finishing the play.
There's just
boxing out. Everybody got a man, but like nobody went and got the ball.
And there's no scenario in which like another front court should be out rebounding Watkins, Cardoso.
Yeah, because it was 26 to 18. The rebounding margin was 26 to 18 in UNC's favor in the first half, and that was like the biggest tell of like what's going on here. Like this is this is weird.
How much rebounding and defense are effort things, right? And like focus. You know what I mean? Because off sheer talent, no one should be getting close to out rebounding the four of them.
And that's where Usby shines.
There you go.
Like she's always like gonna beat you with the effort and the hustle, and she's got the athleticism, but like she's definitely a hustle player and can get it done in that regard. So she was cooking them, and they had to kind of adjust and regroup in that sense.
Yeah, and that's what they did in the second half. Is they regrouped. It felt like it kind of started happening towards the end of the first half. The lead was at, I think the largest was 11, and they cut it down to 3 in the first half, and you could kind of just feel it shifting a little bit. Where it's like, okay, they kind of exhaled a little bit. Let's just hoop, and it started calming down some. And in the second half, they flipped the script a little bit. So the rebounding margin, they won 21-19, so still close, but they do win the rebounding margin. But North Carolina just couldn't really make a shot. They shot 29% from the field, 2 of 11 from 3. They're not a 3-point shooting team, but they shoot 18%. And for it to not be a 3-point shooting team, I think they shoot like 25% on the season. 11 threes in this game, especially when the fouls were generally being called. That's not your winning formula in the second half at all. But South Carolina, this was, and kind of to your point, this was what I had been waiting for. And it's almost, I don't know if it's most impressive win in the sense like they were, obviously this wasn't their best game, but the fact that they go out and pulled it off has made me respect South Carolina as a team more and what they could go on and do.
Custom pants.
Mm-hmm.
And got the girls in gear, and they just
I'm stressed.
Oh yeah, I don't know who tweeted. It might have been you, Shawnee, that tweeted out about the gray hair by the end of the season. Like, man. She.
This is the side effect of having a young, unpredictable, kind of playing loose team.
This is how y'all feel when you're on air with me.
I was like, this is probably what like having kids is like, because like last year's team was like they were the older ones, they were reliable, you knew what they were gonna do, and then this, it's like our youngest, most rambunctious children, but we love them all the same.
But like I said, I think that this gave me more trust than I had previously with South Carolina. It's like, okay, and it's exactly the point that you made, where it's like, what happens when you get punched in the mouth? And I thought that they responded really, really well. And I'm going to go ahead and shout her out. So I'm just going to lob it up to you, Shawnee. Because Pow Pow came through. Pow Pow came through.
Pow Pow.
The veteran,
prime time Pow Pow.
The veteran presence came through. What did you see from prime time? I like that. Prime time Pow Pow. Hold on. Write that down.
I saw something I wanted to see at Oregon. Like, I remember there were a couple games that got close, and they weren't going to her and like letting her loose to attack. So that's when they was like, oh, we don't know if Dawn can like unleash it. I was like, I'm seeing her like cook in a game and then like kind of be on the sidelines watching in the game late in crunch time. So like to see her be aggressive and see her like kind of take control and be that like steadying force, like I loved it. There
was 1 3 she hit where somebody went under, and I was just like,
"What are you doing? Like, what?"
Percent from 3.
Then she like looked at the hand. She was like,
because like, yeah, am I on glue? Like, what?
Yeah.
I really do this. What are y'all on? Like, you have
That's
to.
The part that made me the most proud, actually.
Yeah,
letting them know she's here.
Yeah, I love it. It was perfect. Also, this is a good shout. Bree Hall was also very, very, very solid.
3 that she hit.
Yes.
That was like she took it confidently. I want to say she even turned around before it went all the way through because she just knew. Like,
no, she was.
Yeah, was lucky breezy. And then like I gotta shout out Chloe Kitts. She was killing the mid.
The mid range was midden.
Middy ain't dead.
There was a couple moments down the paint where I was like, "Oh, hold on," but the mid range,
she knew that because she ain't.
But the mid range, it was hidden. But let me tell you right now, my favorite moment of the game. This was the best block I've seen so far this season, and you know I got the clip. Hold on, you know I got the clip. Look at the block. Damn, stare, point that way, Hey. Listen, hold on, run that one back because she hit this in stages. Like this was scenes. Scene 1, finish. Damn. Right? That's scene 1. Stare down. Finish. That's scene 2. And then you get the point. Scene 3. Ugh.
This was a major moment in the game, right? North Carolina was like they were down,
right.
But they had like
14 last 6-point game.
Yeah, they had forced a turnover. Like they hit some threes this game, so you definitely thought like, you don't want to give them any open ones, you know. And that's typically things that happen off plays like that. So for her to hit the ball off of her, it goes out of bounds, and then the celebratory point going the other direction.
Huge. I loved every.
She had to get called for a foul because she was not going straight up. She went out, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" And then she tied her up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah. No, it was. Like I said, I think off the top of my head, I think that's my favorite block of the season so far. Like I said, the 3 scenes of it just absolutely made it for me. Like my favorite part is it didn't look like she said anything at any point. Like it was just all.
It's just all facial reaction.
It was all expressions, which made it better. Like because you can't even talk back to that. You just kind of like, well, like you can't even talk back. You know. But okay, so do y'all have any closing points on this game before we move on to the big return in the second game of our doubleheader?
I think the Gamecocks should drop to at least 12. Like,
No, shut up.
they
Don't
got
do
the
that.
win,
Shut
but like,
up.
I just feel like they should be out of the top 10 after this week. They need to regroup and get some things together. So,
well
for me.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll see that reflected in our rankings. What else we'll see in our rankings is Virginia Tech going lower. Ooh,
hey. Think of the messiest person you know.
It's me. This was a huge game. This was a top 10 matchup, and nobody even really cared about the matchup. Angel Reese is back. And I say that not even as a diss to Virginia Tech. I mean, it's kind of too late for that now, but like it was just such a major thing. Angel is just back. No real explanation, but they dominated this game 82-64. I guess first let's start off with the return, and I guess kind of how we got here, because Mulkey kind of just
don't know. What do you mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm getting to, because Mulkey was just like, Angel back, Pool's gone, Samaya's out for the season, and then just wouldn't answer anything. So
but also not just Angel back, like she was cheesing. Like, I'm happy to have her back.
Yes, happy. To quote, that was happy.
No, because like before that, you guys really are mad at me because I didn't say what you wanted me to say. Don't I give you every interview you want? And you had you really did that to me. Like, I'm hurt. Like, don't y'all, like, girl, you didn't answer no questions.
Yeah.
And then you turned around and made yourself the victim. And I was just like, oh.
She been dream shaking with the pivots. And it's not, it's getting some people. But hey, like
no, hook shot.
Yeah, hey, it don't matter. Don't matter the height. That's 5'7", you get it up. That's what we learned from the Pili family today. And it was kind of like a weird, while watching the game, I don't, for anyone that had like the commentary on and everything, it was kind of weird where they were like, look at Angel being a good teammate. Just like consistently, where it's like, no, like we don't.
The broadcast, they were doing way too much, because it's like, either give us like actual, like reports,
factual,
of, like,
they ain't got none.
That's prompting you to point out how good of a teammate she is, how together they look. After the game, they zoomed in on Kim and Angel hugging, really embracing really tightly. But like us as viewers, if you were just tuning into this game for the first time this season and you had no idea what had transpired between LSU in their program, and you just heard that LSU Angel was back today, you're not leaving with any more information.
You think she was like injured, like she just like came back from a sprained ankle,
or she came back from war,
like she's.
It was a splinter.
Yeah.
But no, like, but that is definitely like it's a weird, like, and it's a completely different
tone. They need to do that. They didn't need to like carry water for them in that way, because you guys really aren't telling us anything that.
Yeah, it's just it's a really weird. I mean, like we're not out of the woods with this yet. Like this shouldn't, like, it might just go away, because frankly, I know the reporters in those press conferences have to be like so frustrated at this point. Like I can't imagine having to like just consistently be shut down. It's weird, and so honestly, like I don't think that this story is over, and I don't think it should be over, but it might be. It might just be, okay, she's back, and we might never hear anything about it because nobody says anything about it. Like, and it's weird.
I mean, we'll have our body language goggles on for the rest of the season,
always.
But you know,
always.
I mean, but you know, all things considered, Angel, she looks like she's still like playing into shape, kind of. But
it looked like she came where she left off. Like
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, not a whole. She missed 4 games, right? She hasn't played since November 14th. November 30th. It's been 16 days. They left her off the trip for the vacation. I just don't think I ever lived that down, honestly. Cayman Islands.
I would have taken it to hell.
I was in Baton Rouge or Baltimore. Like, that is that fucking hurts badly.
Damn.
That's tragic. But yeah, she still did her thing. She got to the line 16 times tonight.
19 points, 9 to 16 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds. Like, coming back in, missing 4 games. Like, she's She did her
early
thing.
foul trouble, but
Mhm.
like kept stuck with her. So like I'd be encouraged if I was.
I'd say we didn't leave tonight. I haven't seen anything from the press conferences or anything like that. I wouldn't say that we left with any additional red flags. And I think at this point for this situation, no, but like seriously,
No, but
I think
like that's
at
the
this
best you
point,
can hope
like,
for.
like I think that's a win. Like, because
Yeah.
don't allow people like us
A win
to have
is a
anything
win,
else.
right?
Like, you go out there, you get a top 10 win, Angel's back, her and Anissa hoop together.
Exactly.
And both have good games. Like this, I don't think that this whole thing could have gone much better for LSU tonight. Both like on the court, just the functionality of the team, and also the storyline surrounding it right now.
No, they got him 700th win,
Mhm.
fastest coach to
Mhm.
700 in D1 history.
Mhm.
No, I mean this game is this was a great night if you're at LSU women's basketball.
Absolutely. And so I kind of mentioned them there, but I want to talk about Anissa Morrow and Michaela Williams because they hooped. Anissa Morrow's on a run right now. That game against Virginia where it was like, I don't even like, it was like 38 and something, like it was a crazy game. Yeah, crazy. It was something nuts. Yeah. And like, she's on like a little double streak right now, and she's not just like creeping over the line. Like she's getting like 15 plus rebounds while doing it. And I was impressed to see her do that with Angel still around, like and seeing how, because I was interested in seeing how they were going to work with the rebounding a little bit. And I mean, Reese left with 9, she had 15, so like they're both active on the boards.
I mean, they're probably, they're probably the two best rebounders in the country, right? Like,
I don't think that's a stretch at all.
Angel, you already know, like that offensive glass, like that's where she wreaks havoc, right? And then Lisa, even going back to her days at DePaul, like there's just not a rebound that's too hard for her to get in a way. You know what I mean? And tonight she got every big rebound that LSU needed when the game was close.
Yep. So I mean, and then Michaela Williams is
a pro.
Sure.
She it's so like we hear and understandably so we've heard so much about Juju and her ability just to come in and have it all be so easy so fast, but Michaela Williams is right there in that same realm of just like it just clicked. Like there was no real transition period for her, and I think if we saw her on a team like USC, we would be seeing very similar things go down. Like I believe that they're right in the same tier talent wise, and the ability like to see this team function tonight against a legit team was, like I said, I mean I feel like this night couldn't have gone much better for LSU if they had planned it.
Hey, Anissa and Juju, what could have been, or what Sabrina say?
Oh my goodness. Here you go. Yeah, that would have been crazy. That would have been a duo.
Yeah,
that would have been a duo. I do want to mention one thing from this game that history might have been made. It was made for me. I have never seen a player foul out so quickly. 5 fouls
back in Blacksburg already.
In 5 minutes. I believe it was a freshman for Virginia Tech. Like this isn't like genuinely. I'm not even trying to like make fun or be.
Hold on, because Tamari Key and Cameron Brink kind of remember when they played.
Yeah, that's true. Because they had some games.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, like both of them fouled out in like the first quarter or something like that. So
I was so caught off guard. Like I honestly wasn't keeping track of the amount of fouls, and then I hear
neither was Kenny Brooks apparently.
Clearly, 5,000 minutes is crazy. How do you not yank after 3? Like what do you mean?
Somebody should text them, bro. Like, hey, we're
not in the group chat.
No, not
in the group chat.
I forgot to let him know.
Hey, assistant ain't got his number.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, I literally didn't realize until Lobo was like, "Did she foul out?" Like she asked. And I like peeked my head up and I went to the box score. I was like,
"Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
She was out there just vibing in the worst way.
Yeah,
all
she's
negative.
Halfway back to Virginia by now. I'm telling you, she got that was a head start.
Yeah. I will say for a positive for Virginia Tech, Georgia Amor is a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
She's crazy. And I was me and Greer were kind of talking about it a little bit before we came on. it's so interesting how like so much of a talent right now, especially when you think about the WNBA where it's so big heavy. There's a lot of guards right now in college that are legit and are like putting up crazy numbers across the board. You have the whole freshman class.
The game was a foregone conclusion, but I like the little duel between your daughter and Amor in the second half, Shawnee, from a guard perspective. I thought they were both like, they have a lot of familiarity with each other. They both played and competed against each other in the little guard camp that Kelsey Plum did during the offseason.
And my daughter probably said something.
And Georgia Amor.
Georgia was the dog.
She was the dog of that
Georgia
camp.
was the dog.
And, so yeah, they know each other. I'm sure they know each other, pretty well. And they put on a little show for us at the end of that game, and they both hit some really, really tough shots.
So
my child knows how to sell tickets. You're welcome.
Man, I guess. But I am genuinely interested. Like, obviously, this is way down the line now, but we were talking about it before. Is like with the amount of talent at the guard position, like obviously the bigs in the W aren't going away anytime soon. But I remember we had a bunch of conversations talking about like how a guard hasn't won MVP in the W for, maybe since before I was born. I don't know. And like,
it's like 4 years ago.
Okay, I knew that was coming. I paused to let you get it off. But like, it really is interesting seeing like in the years to come if there's a shift in the W based on the guard talent. Like obviously, there's plenty of big talent as well. Like there's a ton of size, but I'm interested in seeing if we see maybe it'll balance out a little bit more when it comes to awards and things like that in the next 5-ish years or so as those guards.
Ryan Howard leading that charge. Let me tell you,
exactly, 100%.
There's gonna be an MVP season on the horizon.
She was my sleeper pick this year, so I'm fully a believer in that. Like, and she can absolutely be the one to kind of get it in motion now. And then as the Caitlins, the Paiges, the Jujus all come in, like following in the motion that she's already started.
Erasure does not sit well with me.
Correct. It was intentional.
For 3/4 of the season, she's going to be back in this conversation. Just give it time.
Okay, like if she does, I'll go ISO and make an acceptance speech on her behalf on our post game show.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
I'll give her
I'll believe that when I see it.
I'm gonna have to do that, so this is fine.
This is I said Enrique, not Sabrina. Mainly because we know that's never gonna happen, but you know.
Okay. All right. Well,
I would like to mention the ACC versus SEC.
Yeah.
So today the SEC won 1. Arkansas beat Florida State, so that's 2. And then South Carolina.
Beat them now, by the way, which was Florida State's a ranked team.
Yeah. I need to go. I didn't get to watch that live, so I need to go back and see what happened there because I think
Mike Neighbors' 10-year plan is in motion.
I think Scott, the freshman for Arkansas, who's a bucket. I think I saw she had like 23 or something like that. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one.
23 rebounds, something crazy like.
A
lot of missed shots, but hey, what are you gonna do?
SEC went 3-0 today.
Yeah, because the ACC was. I was about to say, SEC help is on the way. Don't worry, just wait one more year.
No, not you, Seamus.
Help is on the way.
Not you. Because yesterday was the complete opposite. You have Louisville beat Ole Miss, Miami beat Mississippi State, NC State beat Vandy, and then Notre Dame beat Tennessee. So 4-0 day 1 for the ACC, 3-0 day 2 for the SEC.
I think it's 8 wins, like to clinch the challenge win.
Oh,
I think is what it is. If I could be misremembered. I think that's what I saw on Twitter today was 8. So the ACC's got 1 game up.
Yeah.
1 game up. Don't worry, help is on the way. We'll get them next year. We'll get them next year. It'll mean more.
Yeah, give us the 2 dragons and then OU dragon.
All right. Okay, that's about gonna do it. Do y'all have any closing statements on LSU, Virginia Tech?
I bigged up my kids. I made some promises. I'm good.
I think. I mean, like I said, I think this could not have gone much better for LSU, and I'm interested in seeing where Virginia Tech ends up in the AP poll because I had already had them in like the teens, I think, like mid-teens, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm interested to see where they go. So that'll be something to look out for. Something else to look out for. On top of some more post-game shows coming up soon, we'll have Boots on the Ground this Sunday. We haven't announced this yet. In Austin, Texas, I'm making the drive. Boss lady is making sure I'm coming to do work, so she's flying in.
You need a chaperone.
UConn at Texas. We will have Boots on the Ground credentialed coverage. And Austin, I feel like I'm gonna be like behind enemy lines or something. Like, it's gonna be a little weird, but I'm excited for it. I'm ready. So we'll have credential coverage for that. And I think maybe
they want to talk about Oregon getting whacked again. Kelly Graves, baby, your time's up. Your time's up. It's over.
Can we talk about Oregon getting smacked again?
There's really nothing to say. They got smacked by Portland.
Yeah, Portland. I'll tell you right now, I'll talk Oregon when Rashard shows his face.
They got smacked by Santa Clara. So WCC supremacy is
WCC Pac-12 challenge. Oregon's losing it.
Hey, shut up.
The Oregon AD better start getting on the phone and finding his replacement. That's just what it looks like we're headed to.
Yeah.
I thought Andrew had a daughter on Portland, or was that Sacramento State?
Sacramento State. I think she transferred.
That's what it was. Wow. Right. So because I'm thinking Nesbo, and she's not even on that team. And so who did you lose to tonight, Kelly?
We're gonna find out their names and mention them next on Spaces or something. Because they deserve some airtime. Because they're wagging.
They didn't just like lose. Like they wasn't like a upset. Nah, Oregon got cooked. I was scrolling through Twitter like at halftime Virginia Tech, and I just see the funniest part is Oregon didn't make a graphic for the halftime score. They just tweeted it out. Like normally they'd be making graphics, like they be on it with that green and yellow. There was no graphic. I had to make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me.
Or Portal Mommy's on the way. Oregon got some talented players.
The Portal Mommies are on the way.
Yeah, that portal. Open her back up.
Still down.
About that time. It's about that time. But all right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for coming through to this episode of the Committee Post Game Show. This was a fun one. Thank you again to Alissa Pili for coming through. She was fantastic. Hopefully, some more guests on the way here soon.
Yeah, and let us know. Like, who do y'all
want to see? Who do y'all want to see? Tweet at us at the Committee SG on Twitter. Be on the lookout for the Boots on the Ground footage and coverage and everything. I'm gonna try and get in the Geno presser. I'm gonna slick my hair back.
Paisan!
Hey! What do you think about Paige Beckers?
Oh my God, this is turning into a Family Guy skit.
Hey!
Oh my God!
What's gonna be crazy is when Andrew kicks the door down, just hey! Okay, on that, it's time to go. We've gotten too far. All right, y'all. Well, make sure, tweet at us if you have any players. Tag the players.
Kimoki, yo, get out of
us.
Rob, that's enough.
Well,
that's enough.
I don't think
it's possible. We'll see.
Well, I'll email. I'll do it. But we thank y'all so much for coming through tonight. Make sure that you are subscribed and you have the bell on, so whenever we do go live, you get notified. And be on the lookout for. I'm not exactly sure when our next one is going to be, but it will be here in the next couple of days. So be on the lookout. Be on my Twitter. Make sure you follow us on everything. Go get your merch. There's new merch out. Wintertime. Stay warm. Beanies, hoodies, like this. You know what I'm saying? Go get your stuff, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.